Namaste. Namaste, beautiful souls. I hope, well, everybody who listens is alive. I hope everybody is alive. And everybody feeling good, the best as they can, always moving forward, always more alive. Life. I want to speak about death, actually, you know, but about life because death doesn't exist. I know death doesn't exist. I'm not afraid of death because I will not die. And if I die, I choose where I go. So many, I'm seeing a lot of things lately. I have been speaking on this topic many times. But it's important because in these times, this is ascension of planet Earth. This is split. Whoever is ready to ascend into new Earth to become their highest divine version remains here. Whoever doesn't choose this path we are choosing is leaving. And as souls leave, they get some other planet, some other reality, which is 3D, where they can learn, continue to learn. In this world, it appears that they die. Like I said, in same bed, two are lying, one is taken, one remains. This is true because they are our family. Many are dealing with family members that are leaving their body, leaving this world. And it's very sad. And I actually want to make this video because I'm doing healing on one friend here. Sometimes once a month he comes. I don't take patients more than once a month because they have to heal themselves. But there is some big problem with him. And he's elderly like me. I'm 36, he's 50 almost. But he's still mourning for his grandfather, which is decades from his death, you know. And my brother living downstairs, he's completely finished because of our grandmother that raised us. She was like our mother, and she left the body 2 years ago. It will be now 2 years, just around Christmas. And actually that time 2 years ago, when our grandmother left, I made first video on this topic because everybody was wanting if I need a shoulder, if I need somebody to cry on, if I need this, if I need that, and I'm different. I was actually not sad. Yes, she was the mother that raised me, but I was not sad. I'm the word that I speak. I was born very spiritual, crystalline soul. I didn't even know. I started to notice something very strange when in high school somebody who I loved died. I was not crying. I was not sad. I didn't know nothing spiritual. I didn't know nothing. I felt in a realization I had in fog. But what was weird to me, all friends were crying and everybody was sad. Everybody was devastated. I was not. I was feeling the connection. I didn't feel that. And I could not explain to myself. I thought you're taking drugs or something. You're smoking too much weed. What is your problem? You don't feel sad. You feel. I was looking to that body of a friend. This was just body. But I felt the connection with him somewhere else, unexplained. And I didn't cry. Everybody was crying. I didn't cry. Then after some relatives also passed, two relatives, I didn't feel no sadness. And then really, my grandfather, he passed also. When I was like before 20 or something like that, just before I went to India. My entire family crying, devastated. It was not. And I felt something is wrong with me. You are cruel. I was saying to myself, you are cruel. You are a machine. You are. Everybody's crying. I was condemning and judging myself that I feel no sadness for my grandfather. You know. But after this, I went to India. After this, I really dedicated my life until now to spirituality, to really intense spirituality, like all the masters did and everything. When I came from India, I already knew much and I had much realization. I was awakened much. So when 2 years ago, actually, our mother, she was my grandmother, but she raised me. I called her mother because my mother left me and went to Germany when I was very young. She was my only mother. And that time, this was 2 years ago, and I was already doing this on Facebook, motivating many friends, shining light and everything, teaching like I'm teaching now, not much difference. And with my grandmother, it was very, we didn't get along. We loved each other, but I'm Gemini and I'm free, but she was Virgo, and she was in the system, in the religion. She could not really tolerate somebody is different, and this was me, and like this. We didn't go together, but we loved each other so much, and she was my last 2 decades of my life. She was not happy with me because before I almost killed myself with drugs, destroyed myself. Then after, when I stopped, I went to India. I changed my religion. I left Christianity. I did all these things that for her was just unacceptable and what she would not want in her most terrible dreams. This was actually more, this was actually heavier for me than my youth with drugs. This that I left Christianity and I was different now, doing things, spiritual things that no one does. This was actually more terrible in her mind than my drug past. But okay, let us leave this. But in time she accepted, but she didn't like, and we had okay relationship. But when she was leaving the body, she was actually all her life so much tensed, so much worried, so much full of fear. Not nice energy around her, all worries, all fear, just looking what is wrong, always feeling she's not good enough and I'm not good enough and no one is good enough and only them are good enough, you know. It was not pleasant with her. But on her deathbed and that time, all the relatives said, what happened to her? She's first time happy. She's like a little child. She was light. She was suffering like anything. 5th stage of cancer, and the most painful here under the stomach. This organ, I don't know how it's called in English. It's most painful cancer that is. And 5th stage. But she was light as feathers. She was happy, and everybody saw she was happy. Because actually, in her last 2 months of her life, I was every day there, 1 hour. I did healing on her, and I was speaking on her with her deep spiritual roots. I connected it with Jesus, everything, because she could only accept and see Jesus. And her dream come true. I was preaching to her. I was speaking that what she always wanted to hear. And she was so happy, and she got purified, and she lost all the fear of death. And she was so happy. And I asked her just 2 weeks before she passed, I asked her, grandmother, why are you so happy? Why are you so smiling? I said, did you see God? She said, I think I did, yes. And she was smiling, and it was very beautiful. And it was so insane that my family, they wanted to arrange the priest to come and confess her and give her the end ceremony. And she was like, she has me. She said, I have Purna. I don't need nobody. I have, everything is okay. Everybody was looking, what is going on here? She didn't even fuck with priest on the end. That what I gave her, that gave her, I feel, eternal life, because she felt there was no fear anymore with her, no worries, no heaviness. She was like a little child, and she was never all her life like a little child. So I was with her soul. Then she passed, and I was actually happy, because I felt, I'm not a blind man, I see much in other dimensions. I saw and felt and got a message from her. She's first time happy. All the pain is gone. She's free. And I was so happy. And it was difficult for me to go to the funeral and all this, because everybody crying, but in me there was visible that I'm happy. Because I was happy. I see the truth. I don't see the illusion. In illusion, she suffered so much. Now her truth, soul is free. She's happy. And this was my truth. And as all the family, they were crying, and my brother even attempted suicide after, I was actually happy there from the heart. And I had to hide it. I actually told to my family, who was sad, this is what I'm telling to you now. And naturally, when I came to Facebook and everybody wanted to comfort me and everybody wanted to this and that, I got so annoyed that I had to speak this, what I'm speaking now. That death doesn't exist. It's illusion. I saw the truth. I saw the connection. I saw her suffering before, and now her happiness that nobody could see, I could see and I could feel, and that's why I was happy. Although she was my mother for 35 years. No sadness within me, nothing. Because we all are one. Life is eternal. Soul cannot get killed. Soul cannot die. Only this body, this illusion dies. And when we are in illusionary consciousness of third dimension, when we are disconnected from the source, from ourselves, we are disconnected from everyone. And we see life just as this body moving. This body moving. And when this body stops moving, we think that somebody died. But no, nobody ever died. Nobody ever got born. This is basic knowledge, but it's needed. Imagine a car. Car is your body. You are not the car. Driver knows I'm not the car. And when car gets broken, driver goes out of the car and gets in the new car. That's a very simple explanation. But what happened? A driver is pure spiritual energy, soul, and you have to have spiritual eyes. You have to be enlightened. You have to be very awakened to see and perceive the real being, which never dies. When we perceive just body, we perceive in this world with these eyes and senses just body, touch and these things, and then it's disconnected. And more we are mourning for somebody who died. We miss them. We cannot let them go. More and more we are actually in 3D consciousness. 3D consciousness is separation. I realized in last years that I was actually so awakened through my childhood and all this. I could not understand why I'm not sad if somebody dies. Why I feel that nobody died. This was my genuine feeling in my heart always. Nobody died. Everything is, I was wondering. I know when my grandfather died, I was in the evening smoking joint outside. Something is wrong with you. You're a croon. You're not sad even. You're not sad. What is with you? I could not comprehend this illusion within me when I was such a young boy. But it was not illusion. I was connected with truth. I actually felt life is eternal. Life just transformed. Nobody died. But my mind I could not explain it in my mind. Why I'm acting so differently, like others. Nobody ever dies. You are not this body. You are not even the soul in the body. You are actually, this body is trapped in the infinity of your soul. Just one experience of your soul that from the source perspective lasts just like a microsecond and it's over. And you have had so many bodies, you had so many experiences, and you have paralleled so many bodies, and you have died somewhere just now. Somewhere you were born now, your soul. You just died there, you just born there, you just died, you are everywhere. So it's just a test drive. Your soul of your loved one is testing this car until the test is done. When test is completed, the car is no more needed and the driver goes to another race and leaves this car, this vessel. It's just simple like that. And more we are disconnected, more and more we are sad. This means we are more and more in separation. More and more we are connected, more and more we are enlightened, more and more we are ascended, more and more we are one with the source, with eternal life, and we understand that nobody died. We feel in our heart that, like I felt with my grandmother, I felt that living connection just like when she was alive, but that first time I felt she's happy, first time I felt she's light, first time I felt her gratitude. Thank you for helping me this last month. We did work that she did not do in 80 years before we did in 3 months. And I was happy for her and proud of myself. And I was genuinely happy for her. It was just experience. You feel the connection in life. You know there's no death. You just feel the energy transformed. She will be born again. She's happy. That's the truth. Spiritual source energy that I am, we all are. And where there's life, there's source. In its unique individual form. And when there's no life, the source has left. So, the manifestation of the source within the body. And soul cannot die. Just transforms. Just goes into another form. An old man dies and a young baby is born. Just like that. You're crying for your grandfather. Maybe he is coming. Like your son. It happens many times. Because I see. I know my grandfather now. I see him. He is from my cousin's son. I told him actually, and he was a little bit, because he felt the energy. He knows my grandfather, and he didn't tell me nothing because he felt this might be true. Is there my grandfather living 6 miles here away, and he is now 7 years old. Nobody dies. If eyes to see, you see. My grandmother also will come back. When I got the message, she will come back when I will do some action. Okay. Okay. Well, I have to, the real goddess has to come, then no problem. And then wait a little bit, okay? No, that, just funny, just laugh. I feel her energy now, she's here and laughing with me, no problem. She was never laughing. Now she knows, she was in illusion of this body and mind. Now she is in pure soul energy, like a child. She'll be born like a child when the time is right. No problem. I'm connected to truth. I am the truth. Not a lie. What I speak, what I teach, is what I live, what I realize. Not attached to this illusion too much. I know everyone can die, everyone can leave me this moment. Even my body can go. My best friend can go. We are here. When Source takes us, when Source takes someone away from us, it's over. We cannot get them back in physical form. Like I told to my friend before, to Renato, I told him, you are crying after grandfather who is dead for 2 decades and you are not allowing him to go home. You're keeping him and that's why you suffer. But you have a beautiful daughter, 5 years old. God has taken one angel away from you, yes, 20 years ago. No, but he has given you the daughter, the beautiful angel. Now you are focusing on your dead grandfather. You should give that love to your daughter. You have a living angel here now. And you're just in past crying for somebody who left. But you have a little baby here who needs your love. What's that for nonsense? Just focus on a child. Focus on what brings you joy. Focus on love you brought in this world. Don't cry for old men. Like Jesus said, let dead bury himself. This is like me. I feel like this sentence so much. It can be cruel. I don't know. For me, it's not. For me, so it is. Because death is just body. The truth, the soul, spirit left. It didn't die. But it went for a better experience, more beautiful experiences with this one. So there's only reason to rejoice when somebody leaves who suffered in this world so much. When they leave, you can be sure their next life is to be very beautiful because they have burned so much karma, like my grandmother and grandfather who both suffered so much. There's no death. Death is an illusion. And if we see only matter in this physical world and bodies, and we are attached and we miss each other, we fear that we will lose someone, we suffer. Because we are in illusion. We don't understand. We are just in illusion. We are attached to body, to the bodily movement, to what we perceive. And we cry. We cannot heal. We cannot heal our heart. But for what we cry? For illusion. Yes, if we are in the truth, we understand the soul never died. Soul just went there where is now the best for the soul. And everything is the best. Soul never died. Eternal life lives on. In illusion we cry, and we cannot go through it, we cannot heal our heart, we live in past, we always think on them. There's another thing here. We are keeping them here. When we are attached to somebody, when we are always thinking about them, when we are mourning, when we cannot heal, we are actually keeping that soul attached to us. And we suffer because that soul wants to go. But we don't allow them to go because we are so sad, because we are mourning, because we cannot forget their form. And we live in past when they were alive. And in this way, we keep them in this world, attached to us. And then we suffer more. It's finished. We have to live in now. Source has taken away from me, and like I told you, so many friends, all, not all, but many who I loved, close ones in my family. And I've seen so many dead. What can I do now? And I focus on past, on everybody who died, and be miserable. Or I focus on beautiful people who are now here with me. In past, we cannot do nothing. We can't do nothing. It's over. When Source takes somebody, it takes somebody. They will not come back in that form again. It's finished. You can live in past and be miserable, or you can be here now and be happy and focus on beautiful people who remain with you, who did not leave. Nurture that relationship and remember and send love to your close one who died and feel they are alive. Yeah, many times when we let them go, when we can let go of that sadness, then we realize that moment, that eternal life that they never left. And then we can be happy. We have to focus. Here now is happiness. And whoever is not here now in physical reality with us, regardless if they were here half a year ago, you cannot bring them back. You can only keep them attached to you and suffer. What you can do, count your blessings, be here now, pray for them, yes, but be here now. And like I told to my friend, you have a little daughter, focus on your daughter, your grandfather is dead for 20 years, are you crazy or something? No. Okay, I understand, but should not, 20 years is a little bit long to mourn for your grandfather. And then this becomes an excuse for all your mental problems and everything. I'm mourning for my grandfather. Okay, it's 20 years, and you have a beautiful daughter. And I'd rather be happy for that beautiful daughter, my friend, and mourn for a grandfather who's dead for so long that I'm awakened. Maybe I seem a little bit cruel saying these things. To me, there's no death. There's only life and transformation of life. And this is the truth. When we are in the truth, we realize this truth. We know this truth. And even when somebody who we love so much leaves the body, yes, we are sad. Yes, there's sadness, sure. I also sometimes think, oh, how really beautiful to go to that old house and see grandmother again and laugh and tell her things I never told her. We get these things, yes, but not sad. It's not tragic. Memory comes, we cherish this memory. We send love to that memory. This is okay. But not sad. I was never sad, really, for no one who left. I told you this in the beginning of the video. I was blaming myself for that, but now in last decade, I realized I was actually so blessed. I was awakened all the time. It's weird to observe me when somebody who I loved most left the body, and everybody saw I'm not sad. Everybody saw I'm okay, even more than okay, and people did not, my family did not understand from where this is coming from. And like I told you, the day 2 years ago when my grandmother left, who raised me, she was like my mother. I did that kind of video and more on fire because I was disturbed that people consoling me and telling me I can lean on their shoulder, I can cry. I got so upset. I'm not sad. I have to tell you people that death doesn't exist. On the day when my grandmother, who is my mother, is buried, I have to tell you, let the dead bury themselves. And I did. Because this was my truth that day. I was not mourning. I was happy for eternal life and transformation of life, that she freed herself and that she went towards next beautiful life. And I felt her being light and happy for first time and grateful. And I just got annoyed totally of people trying to tell me that I'm hurt, trying to tell me you will cry tomorrow, your tears are just inside. Hey, whoever told me this, 2 years passed, I didn't cry till now. I just felt that day. I have to tell them, why are you in illusion? Who are you? That doesn't exist. Who are you? Are you this body? My grandmother's not that body. I'm not this body. We have to ascend. Ascension is real. And when such things happen, then our consciousness is shown. We are completely in 3D. We think somebody died. And we projecting this on others. And I'm such crazy paradox of creation. The example, even when I lose somebody who is very close in my family, instead of accepting people trying to comfort me, I will give them the truth that death doesn't exist. And I did that day. And it felt good. It felt the truth. And my grandmother was happy. Yeah, I was happy. And I felt like that the next morning. Now this teaching, really, whoever listened, this will activate them. This will help them because they know your mother died and you told them that. What no one will tell on the day when woman that raised him is buried. Told them that death doesn't exist. It's same example like when Jesus was on the cross and mother was crying and Jesus told her, who are you? What are you doing? Who are you? Why are you crying for this body? Why are you crying for illusions? just body. Just body dies, body goes, body comes. One body, two body, three bodies. You never know when it goes. Why are you crying? Who are you? This is my truth. I feel like this. And this truth was tested so many times in my life. I'm not attached. I love everyone. And I know everyone is eternal. I know this is just temporary cars that we are driving. Car can break down. I know everybody can leave me tomorrow. But they will never leave. Because death doesn't exist. It's an illusion. And more close to enlightenment you are, more you're living in this truth. More what I'm saying now resonates with you. Less it resonates with you, less and more it feels weird and what he's speaking, or maybe even cruel, more you are in third dimension, in separation and in illusion. When you can resonate with such teaching, telling you that death doesn't exist and everything is okay, more you are in fifth dimension. I'm a crazy man. Even on the day when my grandmother was buried, I had to teach the truth that death doesn't exist, like I'm teaching today. Because in reality, everybody who's not ready in these years will leave this planet. And we can control only ourselves. Our husband, our wife, our family, our children, they are on their own path. If they decide not to choose this path we are going to, the new earth, they will leave this plane. And they will leave in, it will look like that. That's how it looks in this world, like that. We have to get ready. We have to understand. Not everybody will choose to stay here and go through this. Many will leave in our family. Many are leaving. Many who we are attached most, who